Last two, what's been the big turnaround? How have you viewed the way the team has grown?
A silent war has been brewing in the WNBA. It's a war fought not with stats, but with whispers, with resentful sound bites, and with brutal welcome to the league moments aimed at one player, Caitlin Clark. For months, the battle lines were clear, a jealous old guard on one side, and a generational rookie on the other. But then, one voice cut through the noise, shattering the entire narrative. And it came from the one person who had every reason to be the most bitter of all.
And then you bring in Caitlin, who changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. And as a friend and as a player, you grow to appreciate her because, you know, certain doors have opened because she's come to the fever, and you have to respect that. And I love the teammate and person in her because she's accepted it with so much grace and even welcomed us with open arms to, you know, make this thing happen. So I think it just took a lot of big pieces to make, you know.
But what if this wasn't just a friendly soundbite? What if it was a calculated shot fired in a league-wide power struggle? When Kelsey Mitchell, the long-suffering heart of the Indiana Fever, finally spoke her mind, she wasn't just defending her new teammate, she was choosing a side. Her words revealed an alliance that nobody saw coming, an alliance that could either save the WNBA from its own petty politics or expose just how deep the jealousy runs. The question now is, did Mitchell just hand Caitlin Clark the key to conquering the league?
You've changed the world in so many ways. You've done it with so much grace. And I'm so happy to take the floor with you, to be a part of this experience. I want to tell you to give yourself some grace, kid. You've done a lot of things that not a lot of people can do. And from me to you, I'm always going to be a fan. I'm always going to be in your corner. I'm always going to be in your backcourt.
To truly grasp the weight of her words, you have to rewind to the years of darkness. This wasn't just a struggling team, it was a basketball wasteland. Imagine being the lone flame flickering in the dark, dragging a franchise through seasons so bleak they were practically unwatchable. This is the same Kelsey Mitchell, who carried a roster that won just 5 games in an entire 36-game season. Let that sink in. 5 wins. She had to shoulder the losses, deliver polite cliches to the press, and pretend there were building blocks after another 24-point blowout. That was her reality. She wasn't just playing basketball. She was pushing a boulder uphill every single night.
And since, you know, like we was talking, like we about to go get our rhythm on Indiana. You've been there, you stuck through until now being in semifinals. What does that feel like? And for people watching, like girls, boys, if they athletes, not athletes, what does it feel like to stick through something and now see it come into full fold?
So when Kelsey Mitchell talks, her voice carries the authority of a survivor. She isn't some pundit spinning a narrative or a veteran from a championship team talking down to a rookie. She is the franchise's institutional memory, the one who remembers the empty seats, the commercial flights, and the feeling of being completely ignored by the sports world. Opponents treated games against Indiana as a night off, a chance to pad stats and rest their stars. Her opinion isn't just valid, it's forged in the fires of irrelevance, sharpened by years of surviving in the league's basement.
The last two, what's been the big turnaround? How have you viewed the way the team has grown organically?
Oh, man, I think a big shout out to the organization taking time to rebuild. I think our draft picks ended up coming big. Lexi Hall was a big draft pick, and then you get Kaylin, and then you get AB. And so you culminate that together with, you know, my experience and having to, you know, go through a couple things before they got there. I think it was just like a match made in heaven, really, because I was, you know, still at a young age to really, you know, vibe and get to know these players for who they were. And then you bring in Kaylin, who changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. And as a friend and as a player, you grow to appreciate her because, you know, certain doors have opened because she's come to the fever, and you have to respect that.
Then, a flicker of light appeared on the horizon, long before the supernova arrived. Her name was Aaliyah Boston. The powerhouse from South Carolina was the first real building block, a sign that the years of pain might finally lead somewhere. Her arrival was like planting a flag in a wasteland. Suddenly, Indiana had something that looked like a foundation, and Mitchell didn't resent the new attention Boston brought. She embraced it. This was the first test of her leadership, proving she valued winning over being the sole star. She was already laying the groundwork for a collaborative culture, ready to welcome reinforcements rather than fear them.
Now, you were an MVP finalist this year with our own Chiney Ogwumike even saying that you had the best season of any guard this year in the league. What has it been like to get that kind of recognition and get your flowers?
Oh, I appreciate it. I've been to a lot throughout the course of my career with Indiana Fever. It's been like my longest, ever. So it's for me, it's a humbling experience to kind of see myself make waves from where it started to where it is now, and just kind of respect the game, lean on the game as far as creating bonds and friendships. And now you get to see us do that now, a couple years later.
And then the bombshell. When asked the inevitable Caitlin Clark question, Mitchell didn't give the league the rehearsed PR fluff it expected. She gave it the unfiltered truth it needed. She looked straight into the camera and said Clark has changed the world and transformed the entire dynamic of basketball. That wasn't a compliment. It was a seismic admission that the one player who bled for an ignored franchise just acknowledged that without Caitlin, the sellout crowds, the primetime games, and the global media frenzy would have never happened. It was a stunning validation from the only person whose validation truly mattered.
Oh man, it's an unbelievable experience. It's a moment that I don't want to, take for granted. I want to cherish it as much as I possibly can. Like I said, I want to use this moment to as a moment to not grow. And so hopefully the mental preparation that I've been through and the things I've been through can kind of help me get through these moments. And then just, loving basketball for what it is and just, loving the game and having fun with it.
This stands in stark contrast to the fatal flaw of the league's old guard. Veterans like Diana Taurasi and Cheryl Swoops thought they were upholding a standard, testing a rookie with harsh words and skepticism. But their plan backfired spectacularly. They didn't look like guardians of the game. They looked like bitter gatekeepers, resentful of the attention a newcomer was receiving. Their condescending tone didn't just target Clark, it alienated millions of new fans who were tuning in for the first time. They fundamentally misread the moment, and their attempts to haze a rookie only made them look small.
I love the teammate and person in her because she's accepted it with so much grace and even welcomed us with open arms to, make this thing happen. So I think it just took a lot of big pieces to make, what it is now.
What has it been like? Because certainly the world has been focused on her. But what has it been like as a teammate? Because sometimes people are stepping to her, but I feel like you guys are.
And in that moment of league-wide tension, Mitchell rejected the entire anti-Clark narrative. While Taurasi was talking about a reality check and Aja Wilson was downplaying the hype, Mitchell chose respect over resentment. She offered a masterclass in leadership, proving you can acknowledge a rising supernova without letting it dim your own light. She flipped the script on the bitter vets, showing the world that true confidence doesn't fear competition, it embraces it. She single-handedly dismantled the toxic idea that hazing Clark was some kind of league tradition.
Back in those situations.
I think it's just it's competitive nature, man. You know how it goes. It's just competitive nature. I think that we want to fight to, love on our team and be who we are and respect the game at the same time. So I think it's a lot of just competitive nature at the end of the day.
The media has been desperate to find a crack in the Fever's locker room, waiting for the moment the pressure of Clark's stardom would cause it to implode. But Mitchell revealed their most dangerous weapon isn't on the court, it's the chemistry off of it. She didn't just call Clark a great player, she called her a friend. In the cutthroat world of pro sports where egos and rivalries often poison chemistry, that word is a fortress. It signals that Clark didn't arrive with an ego, but with a desire to build, to create an environment where everyone could thrive in her orbit.
Prior to game one, I saw Caitlin posted she was fined $200 by the league for stepping on the court. So was there a locker room pool for her there, or did she take care of that herself?
Man. I'm pretty sure somebody took care of it for her. I love it because as much people don't know this about Caitlin, but she has an unbelievable funny sense of humor. And so I think the tweet was the tweet, but you just have to know CC to know that it's just nothing but love coming from that kid, and her energy and her effort to just kind of support our team is just her way of doing it.
A perfect example was the infamous fine tweet incident. After Clark jokingly tweeted about a fine she received, critics immediately pounced, calling her arrogant and immature. The media tried to spin it into a controversy, but Mitchell pulled back the curtain, revealing that inside the locker room, the players found it hilarious. It was just Caitlin being Caitlin. Through all the pressure, that story drew a clear line between perception and reality. Outsiders saw drama. Teammates saw character. That tweet was a test, and the locker room passed with flying colors.
And look, you guys have been plagued with injuries, including to Caitlin,
Yeah.
but you have the best sideline in the league, I feel like, right now. What does it mean to get that support during the postseason from the crew?
Oh man, it's unbelievable. And I think the best part about it is that we have vet experience when it comes to Sydney Colson, and she's a winner and she's a champion. And then you have people like Caitlin, who's a PG and can pass the ball. And so when I come on the sideline, I get feedback from some of the best players in the league. And so I don't take those moments for granted either, because I feel like it's a chance to see the game in a different route, and I get to, get to talk to them from a level of just them having confidence in me to make plays. So I love it. It's a good experience to have.
But Mitchell's support isn't just about friendship. It's about a fundamental change in the business of the WNBA. She's lived through both versions of this league, and she knows which one sells tickets and shifts culture. Suddenly, the Fever are flying on charter planes, a luxury that was unthinkable just a year ago. Arenas across the country are selling out, filled with fans wearing Clark's number 22. Mitchell, who played in front of sparse crowds for years, understands that this economic tsunami lifts all boats. Clark isn't just a teammate, she's the engine driving up salaries, endorsements, and the overall value of the league for every single player. This unity became a literal shield when the verbal jabs turned physical. Opponents have tried to send a message to Clark all season, with overly aggressive fouls meant to intimidate her. When Chennedy Carter delivered a flagrant shoulder check that the league initially ignored, it was a declaration of war from the old guard. But Mitchell's unwavering public support sent a message back. If you come for one of us, you come for all of us. Her words were a warning that the days of Indiana being a punching bag were over. This team was no longer a collection of individuals. It was a united front. And that's what makes the WNBA's front office look so foolish. While Commissioner Kathy Engelbert struggled to manage the Clark phenomenon, seemingly unprepared for the tidal wave of attention, the Fever players were quietly building a fortress of unity. The league failed to protect its biggest star, allowing narratives of jealousy and physical targeting to fester. But Mitchell and her teammates did what the commissioner couldn't. They created a positive, supportive culture around Clark, making the league's inaction look even more incompetent. This bond is the foundation for something terrifying for the rest of the WNBA, a potential dynasty. The core of Mitchell, Clark, Aaliyah, Boston, and Lexi Hull isn't just a solid lineup, it's the blueprint for a decade of dominance. And Mitchell put her money where her mouth is, hinting that she would take a pay cut to keep that core together. In an era where getting the bag is everything, that statement is almost revolutionary. It's a sign that Mitchell understands the bigger picture. This isn't just about this season's playoff run, it's about rewriting the WNBA hierarchy. In doing so, Mitchell has become the blueprint for a new kind of modern athlete. In a sports world dominated by players demanding trades and leveraging their brands for personal gain, she represents a different kind of strength, loyalty. She didn't demand out when times were tough. She didn't create drama. She stayed. She endured. And now she is reaping the rewards not just in stats, but in legacy. Her journey proves that true leadership isn't always about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about having the strongest conviction. Ultimately, Mitchell's words sent a shockwave far beyond Indiana. She gave every fan, every analyst, and every casual observer permission to believe what they were seeing. She legitimized the Caitlin Clark effect in a way no marketing campaign ever could. By banding with Clark, she drew a clear line between the players who are building the future and those who are stuck fighting the battles of the past. Her endorsement was a signal to the entire league that the Indiana Fever are a united front, not a team divided by a single star. Kelsey Mitchell didn't just reject an anti-Caitlin Clark plan, she exposed it and then dismantled it with a few honest words. She has declared her allegiance not to the WNBA's old power structure, but to the revolution happening in her own locker room. The old guard now has a choice: get on board with the new era, or get run over by the dynasty being built in Indiana. A storm is coming, and it's wearing the number 22. What do you think of Mitchell and Caitlin's friendship? Let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.